News. I'm Chris Foster. It's deadline day for Donald Trump to secure a $500 million payment for a New York State civil fraud judgment against him or possibly have assets seized. Fox's Brooke Singman.
The big question now is, will the former president come up with the money? Now, Trump told me in an exclusive interview on Friday that he will take this fight all the way up to the United States Supreme Court if necessary. He also told me, quote, they can't take away your property before you've had a chance to appeal.
And Trump's expected in a New York City courtroom this morning for a hearing to set a date for his criminal hush money trial. Supreme Court hears an abortion pill case today.
At issue, the FDA's approval of the abortion-inducing medication mifepristone, first approved more than 20 years ago. But a group of medical professionals opposed to abortion are challenging that FDA approval, arguing it did not meet safety protocols.
Fox's Jared Halpern. The drug's part of a 2-drug regimen. The other works on its own, but with more side effects. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Live and local. Real talk starts now.
Oh my goodness, it's another Monday. Here we go again. Monday.
What is it about Mondays?
I don't know. It's just like Monday should be the best day of the week. We should consider it the best day of the week. Why? Because it's the furthest day from the next Monday.
If you say so. Okay.
Good morning. I'm Rayford Brown.
I'm Kelly Knapp.
And I'm Lee Barrows.
And welcome to the Monday edition, the last week of March. Next week.
That's right.
Oh
Next
my.
Monday is April Fool's Day. Did you know that?
Yeah. I know a lot of April Fools.
None of
I'm
us are
one of
showing
them.
up.
I'll be one of them.
Oh.
And one of the darkest moments of America's industrial history, the Triangle Shirtwaist Company factory in New York City burned on this date
Oof.
back in 1911. 146 employees there were killed. Safety laws were not in existence very much.
There wasn't no OSHA back then.
They came fast and furious, straightforward, and then they said, we got to do something about this. So it was located on the top 3 floors of the 10-story Ash building in downtown Manhattan, a sweatshop in every sense of the word, and a cramped space lined with workstations and packed with poor immigrant workers, mostly teenage women who did not even speak English. At the time of the fire, there were 4 elevators with access to the factory floors, but only one was fully operational, and it could only hold 12 people at a time.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know about stairs.
Hmm.
My. We've come a long way, baby. We still have a long way to go, no doubt about it. And we're getting there a little bit at a time. Before you jump up and down and scream at OSHA all the time, there's some kind of a reason for that being in place. And I think we've all seen at one point in time some very unsafe workplace conditions, have we not?
Yes, we have. Yes.
They can't read your head.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I'm shaking my head.
Yeah, she was bobbing her head up and down like a bobble
Yep.
baby there.
Yep.
So, yeah. Anyway, I'm glad we do have the laws that we have. I'm glad we have the oversight that we have. Sometimes the oversight seems to be a little bit out there, I will admit. I can see that. And sometimes some of the regulations seem to be a little bit crazy. But generally, they're based upon history and what has occurred, and they're trying to prevent it from ever happening again. So it's a shame it has to come to that, have to wait for a tragedy before we adopt rules and regulations and all that sort of good stuff. That, you would think there would be somebody out there saying, we need to take a look at these kinds of things. And is there anything that we should do now to prevent something from ever happening? I mean, it happens with airplanes.
True.
Sometimes they don't take into account some of the safety factors until there's a tragedy.
I'll tell you, between the airliners and the Carnival Cruise, the cruise lines,
Yeah.
they get hit every day. A lot of things go.
Hmm.
I don't think I want to take a cruise, and I don't want to go flying.
You're going to have a hard
Too
time
much.
getting there anywhere from here.
Well, yeah, I'll just stay home.
There you go.
How's that?
Yeah, got to watch out for your houses too. You got gasoline or propane, and for your lawnmowers, you got gasoline hanging around.
Yes.
You got to know how to store it.
Yes.
True.
You store your gasoline in one of those safety containers now.
Yes.
We store our gasoline in a container so difficult. I struggle to get the thing
These
I know.
lid
little
off.
nozzles?
All the new ones are that way.
So I mean, I don't know what kind of degree you have to get that lid off, but it's frustrating.
Well, one of the, I mean, if some people claimed it was a little bit of government overreach and we had not had any problems. If we had not had any problems, they probably would have never done anything. But especially at summer times, gasoline expands when it gets
Yes.
hot. Okay, fumes come off if it's an unfeathered, it doesn't have a cap or anything internally
Right.
that you have to pull the trigger to make it come out. Then fumes can come out. And fumes coming out in an enclosed area, like, in a storage area where you keep your lawnmower or anything
Correct.
like that,
Mhm.
they can accumulate in there.
Yes,
And a small spark can set off the fumes.
it's true. I keep mine
Ouch.
in the outdoor shed, but I have all those safety nozzles.
Mhm.
I'm used to them now. I know how to operate them. But boy, when I first got them, I was like,
I was about,
cussing.
I can't figure them out.
well, call Kara, call Lee. She can
I
help
will.
you.
They'll have to come.
Oh,
Yeah,
come show-
While she's there, she can mow your lawn.
Hey.
that works.
You
know,
only if she has a rider,
Oh, of course.
because I'm a yard princess. I have to ride.
Oh, I have a ride lawnmower.
That's right, you do.
Yeah.
I could do it. I could do my whole yard in less than an hour. I've got it down pat.
You know, I was just thinking, growing up, my dad had one of those metal gas cans.
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I guess that's all they had back then.
Yes.
I remember that. Yeah. The thing
Plastic was not a
huge.
good thing.
No, in hindsight, definitely not. But
Mm.
back then it was. We also rode with no seatbelts, so there is that.
We
Right.
rode in the back of a sedan where you had that back area back.
we used to
remember.
lay
Same.
up there.
We'd lay up there.
I would too.
Yes.
I never died.
My dad had a Plymouth Fury. I rode in the back. What is that? Like the
Shelf in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
that little-
basically over the trunk area.
yes, and it was like a the window was there. I call it the
Right.
back windshield. I don't know what it's
It's
called.
not a
but
windshield, but it's
yeah,
a back
that
glass.
thing.
Yep.
Right.
all the way to Carowinds, laying back there.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ugh,
we had a
I would've
Ford
been car sick
Fairlane.
by
Well,
that
it was 2 hours from my house, so it
Oh,
wasn't
well,
far.
that's better.
Yeah.
We had a Ford Fairlane. We used to lay up there in the back. We never wore seatbelts.
Yeah.
Kids we were laying all on top of each other.
We had a big old Plymouth Fury. That
Oh.
thing was a tank.
We've had Buicks and Cadillacs and
Mhm.
Oldsmobiles and all sorts of big old cars.
Same.
All this. Do any cars have those back things up there now?
I don't.
I don't
Are
think
there,
so.
Are there any cars built that way?
Not
don't
that I
think
can. I
so.
can't think of any that are.
Yes.
Maybe there's one, but if someone can tell us which one it is, I'd like to know. I
Yeah.
don't think so at all.
We have a visitor, a couple
we
of them.
do.
One's leaving. Quick. That would be Allison. And then
Bring in
she left our
Lucy.
little
We've got the
puppy.
queen coming up in here.
Here's the queen. Queen Lucy.
Yeah.
I call her
Lucille.
Lulu. Lulu.
Bradford, I want to bring up something
Okay.
today. You know, my mother watches the news 24/7. So
Yeah,
I'm over
She's
it.
a junkie.
I'm over it. But
I
anyway,
used to.
she was watching footage this weekend, and they were showing footage from Texas from last week where those
The illegals.
the illegals tore that fence down.
Yep.
And
Okay.
something was very interesting. So if you recall last week, and I want to say there was something on the news where they maybe someone called in here. I now I can't remember. I remember thinking about yesterday, and they were talking about how families were coming over, you know, at the border, and we need to let them in, and blah blah blah. But what was very telling is there was not a single woman or child in that group that attacked those border patrol agents and tore that fence down. They were all young men.
Mhm.
That's it. Not a woman, not a child, not a dog, not a cat, nothing. It's very interesting to me. Where are these families
don't-
that everybody's screaming about?
Don't
that
let
are trying to
facts
come
get in
over?
the way of a good story, okay? That's the problem.
But it should be
People
very-
like us let facts get in the way of a great story.
But it should be very telling, and it should also be
No, they'll
unnerving to
ignore
people.
that. Here's their excuse. Well, that's just a very few people there. There were only 300 of them. Only 300 of them there at that time. And they came over to distract everybody else.
That's not why they were coming over.
Yeah.
And what was interesting is that yesterday they said a lot of them most of them were from Venezuela.
Yes.
You know, my first thought was, were they let out of prison there and sent here? And a few of them, in my opinion, looked more Middle Eastern than Venezuelan.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
That was a mix.
And that brought to mind what happened in Russia over the weekend.
That
Mr.
was
Putin is an unhappy
horrible.
camper.
And he's just trying to deflect.
He's deflecting, but he's going to eliminate too.
Oh yeah, they won't have a trial.
Oh,
No, we
they've
were
already had
laughing
their
about
trial.
out of the house.
They've
Yeah.
already had their trial.
Yeah, I mean people
Next.
think there's going to be a court case. Y'all are delusional. Yeah.
I just want to let you know that as I took Lucy into the house, I got my groceries all in a bag out here.
Mm-hmm.
I visited your pantry.
Okay.
His pantry's awesome.
They have the coolest pantry, guys.
That's
Oh
a
my
Robbie
gosh.
thing.
I was sitting there like,
She's the organizer.
Take that one. I won't have to go grocery
Well,
shopping.
forget grocery shopping. If there's apocalypse, we know where to go.
Have you looked at the latest pineapple out there?
Yeah, another one out
Yes.
there being beautiful and calling my name.
I reached over yesterday just to find out if it's ripe.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you find out, right?
Yes.
You take a smell
It
test.
smelled, and it
And
smelled.
you can
it
smell
smelled
it.
ripe.
You can smell it. It's going to be whacked off pretty soon.
Well, that last one you gave us tasted amazing.
Oh, Lord have
So
mercy.
Oh, it was so good.
And Robbie said when she looked into the winter dome outside, there were at least 2 more growing out there.
We're gonna
Oh,
have to
wow.
start our R&R garden series soon.
There you go. So anyway, okie dokie. Well, we got some seeds planted, so we'll see how that works out in the grow station out here. We've got some seeds because I went to the store the other day. Not
It's
going to tell you where.
depressing. It's depressing.
$4.98 a piece for a plant that's about 6 inches tall.
Yes.
I believe it.
I finally found some cantaloupes for $2 and I went home. You have to have a hammer to smash so hard. Don't get them. I can't wait for the Bogue cantaloupe.
Mm.
Those are the best.
Now, those you can pick up and smell too. You know when they're
Yes.
ripe.
Oh, yes.
I grew some cantaloupe last year, and believe it or not, they were actually decent.
Well, that's good.
Shockingly, considering it was me that grew them. But yeah,
Well, you don't have a green
Kelly and
thumb?
I have a
I
secret
don't
to
really have a
flowers.
green thumb, but
Oh, well, that's
I
a shame.
learned I have a huge green thumb for zucchini.
Oh,
Oh, I love
Oh,
well,
yeah.
I like zucchini.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, it was amazing.
Are you
And
growing
then
zucchini this year?
I
I
am.
will be. Yeah.
I am.
Good.
I didn't do
Good.
very well last year.
Oh.
They came and they went very quickly.
Well, mine acted
Yeah.
out. I mean, I just they kept
I don't
coming
know
and
what
coming.
was
I'm like,
wrong.
what am I doing over here?
That
I
and the
couldn't tell you what I
squash-
did.
That and the squash were just one and done, you know. And like, good God, normally squash are just prolific.
Mine wouldn't
Squash
die
and
off.
zucchini.
Well, I had that issue with the zucchini, the squash and the cucumbers cross pollinating.
Oh, really?
So I had squash cumbers.
I don't know how that would work, but
Q
okay.
squash.
Yeah, they were big, humongous, and they were yellow, but they were like
What do they taste like?
cucumbers inside, like cucumbers.
Really?
Yes, they kept cross pollinating. So I'm
I've
gonna.
never seen that.
Well, this is gonna happen. It's gonna happen in my backyard.
Good old Kamala, she can't catch a break. Down in Puerto Rico over the weekend, the VP was clapping away as local singers were chanting a protest song. Then she was told what the lyrics were, and she immediately stopped clapping. After making remarks in Puerto Rico's capital, Harris visited a community center in a San Juan neighborhood where she took a tour and heard from center staff and community leaders about what their needs were. The motorcade was greeted by a mix of several dozen loud demonstrators and onlookers on the sidewalk. One held a sign that said, Kamala Harris, war criminal. Another called the USA and Israel genocidal. The vice president stopped in a courtyard within the community center where a 6-person group of musicians were playing. Pool cameras captured Harris clapping her hands and nodding along as she watched and listened and smiled away. A singer then performed, accompanied by a piano. According to RNC research, Harris was clapping until an aide next to her translated what the band was saying. We want to know, Kamala, what did you come here for? Long live free Palestine and Haiti too. Clapping stopped.
Wouldn't you think you would probably not clap until you knew what they were chanting?
No. Meanwhile, Harris appeared to suggest that Israel could face consequences for invading Rafah, which did not go over well on social media yesterday. In an interview with ABC News, she was asked whether Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's planned invasion was considered a red line for the administration. She replied, this woman should not go off script. We have been clear in multiple conversations and in every way that any major military operation in Rafah would be a huge mistake. Let me tell you something. I have studied the maps. There's nowhere for those folks to go. We're going to take it one step at a time, but we've been very clear in terms of our perspective on whether or not an invasion should happen. That's what she said. Are you ruling out that there would be consequences from the United States? The interviewer asked her. I am ruling out nothing. Consequences from the United States against Israel? I'm ruling out nothing. The reaction, not good here in the U.S. How did she think people would react? Open mouth, insert foot? Does she not remember how Americans reacted when Saudis applauded and cheered when terrorists attacked this country in 2001? Israel was attacked in October as we were attacked on 9/11. What would we have said? What did we say to countries that applauded the invasion of the United States? We were not nice.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I was trying to find the proper words for it.
We were not nice. And we should not have been nice. We were still too nice to Saudi Arabia.
Well, look, we were nice to Russia and let them know that they had a threat coming their
They take us seriously.
No, they're trying to deny that we ever told them now.
Yeah, well, duh. What happened in Russia was a rough attack, bad, awful.
Yes, that was terrible.
Awful. Yeah.
I watched that for hours on live video.
I did too.
and,
It was
it
terrible.
was terrible.
It's sad what occurred. What are they going to do about it? I know they're going to have a lot to do about it, but they should have taken the warning.
I would think so.
They should have taken the warning, but they did not. They ignored it. We are their enemy.
Well, Putin's only got himself to blame right now, the way I look at it.
Yep. Well, he's probably got a lot of other people within his organization he's going to blame.
Of course.
Okay. Let's take a break, do a little bit of weather. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, we're going to have a call in
That's right.
from, we talked about it last week about some stuff, but we're going to have Dorothy Royal from Surf City Guns and Ammo, which also is the axe throwing place down there. Bang. And so she's got some stuff about what we chatted about last week. Illegals in this country now have a right to get a gun. What's wrong with this picture? How do you think this is going to go over?
And some people have to promise their firstborn and sign their name in blood and
Yes.
do a midnight ceremony to get a gun. This
Yes.
is
How do we know,
craziness.
out of all those immigrants, where they're actually from.
Weapons
Weapons to ISIS.
We have no idea where they're from. We find out that ISIS has invaded this country already. We know that
We
they're
do know
here.
that,
We've
yeah.
been told that they're here,
Yeah.
but we ain't done nothing about it.
Can't find them. What are you talking about? They blended in well.
Yeah, but they could go get a gun. Maybe we'll find it. That's
where we're gonna
that's where
find
it's
them.
going. That's the trick. We're up to a trick. We're gonna say, y'all come apply for a gun permit. We'll give you one. Now we know where you are.
No, because they'll have a fake name and a fake everything.
They could be there for 30 days and gone again.
Mhm.
You're live in local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME, and we'll be right back.
Freedom 97.1.
Liberty Mutual presents How to Be the Life of the Party.
Okay, first turn the music off. Then ask for everyone's attention. Now, tell them that you customized your home insurance with Liberty Mutual and saved hundreds. Boom! Now everyone knows you're not just a pretty face. You have some brains inside that face that know how to save hundreds on home insurance. Woo!
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Based on recent survey of new customers who switched and saved. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Feeling trapped with that old phone? Don't. Getting a new phone is easy. Come into Verizon and get one of our best phones on us with Select Trade-in on Unlimited Ultimate Plan. And get a plan that helps you save by only paying for what you need. Act now and get a brand new phone at your Verizon store today. $999.99 device payment or full retail purchase with new smartphone line on Unlimited Ultimate Plan required. Less up to $1,000 trade-in/promo credit applied for 36 months. Promo credit ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. 0% APR. Trading conditions apply.
A plan every adult family member should consider is the pre-arranged funeral. It's the worry-saving thing to do for your family. Making pre-arrangements helps to alleviate the additional stress on family members that can come with arranging a loved one's funeral. Jones Funeral Home's prepaid funeral plan helps remove confusion. They make a practical evaluation of costs possible, and it's the best way to take an unpleasant task off the shoulders of the family. Call Jones Funeral Home at 455-1281.
With locations in Jacksonville, Richland, Swansboro, and Holly Ridge.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are available in each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
If your plans include hitting the road this year to do some traveling, make sure a visit to Silent Service Center is on your to-do list. Travel safety starts with the tires on your vehicle, and a visit to Silent Service Center will give you peace of mind with the best value in all name brand tires and the largest selection of used tires in this area. In addition to quality tires, Silent Service Center is a North Carolina inspection station and does complete brake service, oil changes, and alignment service. Silent Service Center, 1707 Lejeune Boulevard, Jacksonville, and 108 West Main Street, Havelock. Phone 910-353-4760.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Oh, finally, after an extended weekend that I didn't think was ever going to end, blustery winds and rough seas offshore. It will get a bit better as the week wears on this week. Northeasterly winds offshore today, still breezy, 15 to 20 knots with gusts of 30, seas 6 to 9 feet, except 4 to 5 near shore. Dominant period 10 seconds. They're getting further apart. That's good. Sounds and rivers choppy. Tomorrow, northeasterly winds 10 to 15, seas 5 to 8. They're coming down. 3 to 5 near shore. Dominant period 11 seconds. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop, and then comes along midweek. Easterly winds 5 to 10. The seas still coming down 4 to 6 feet, 2 to 3 on the beach. Sounds and rivers a light chop.
Today, sunny, high of 64. Tonight, partly cloudy, low of 40. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, a high of 66. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, a low of 49. And on Wednesday, mostly cloudy with a high of 69.
I'll tell you what, last night it was down into about 35 when I got up this morning. Yeah,
in
did
some
you?
areas, yeah.
I did. I guess I do see some on the roof next door.
Yeah.
Frost on the roof, up on
Yeah,
the roof.
I know, and I meant to bring my
And
rose bush in, and I forgot, so I'm hoping.
Saturday
I
night.
got that cold.
No, it won't. Should not. Saturday night, I did not. I stayed up and I was tired, sleepy, but I stayed up because the wind was a blowing Saturday night. It kind of eased off a little bit around 2:30, 3 o'clock, and I went to bed then. But I stayed up until then and kept right there, weather radio right in front of me, and the weather, looking at weather and watching TV too. Yes, because I had been to watch some stuff. It was howling so bad that the trees, the bushes were moving and setting off all of the lights around, constantly. It didn't ring anything like this because it only picks up packages or presence of people. But it was nasty Saturday night. I'm glad I was not out in it, and I hope y'all weren't too. But it's what a mess.
No,
What a
I
mess.
stayed in. Friday I did my whole yard, front and back, cleaned
Did
it
you?
all up.
How'd that work out for you?
It was great.
Is it still messed up now again?
No, it's beautiful
Oh,
right now.
got all the stuff gone?
Yes, and then I washed the whole front of the house. I have a brick house, but underneath the porch, the
Yeah.
overhang, you get all that winter cobwebs and dead bugs and
So
stuff.
what are you doing later?
I washed the entire front, and
Well, since you got your practice, come on over.
hey,
Bring your pressure washer.
well, it's just a little thing, but it works.
Well, we'll feed you.
Hey, I'm
There
in.
you go. There you go. We'll work for food.
Well, let's remind people too.
Halls Run.
Halls Run Road
Yes.
closes at 8 a.m. this morning and will be closed until Wednesday at 5 p.m. because they're replacing NCDOT's replacing a drainage pipe.
Yep.
And the roadway is right near the Scott Jenkins Road. So during these 2 days, drivers can use 53 Holly Shelter Road, Scott Jenkins Road as a detour. So hopefully they'll get it all done.
There's lots of ways
Yeah.
around that up there.
Yep.
If you live in that neck of the woods, hopefully you're familiar with all the side roads, the back
Yeah, I
roads, the
bet they
detour
would.
possibilities, and
Oh, yeah,
everything
I know
else.
that area well.
And if nothing else, just go follow a mailman.
That's how I know those roads so well. All the back roads, everything.
Yeah.
Well, the insanity continues. The Boston Task Force on Reparations called on white churches to step up and pay the black community back for racial inequities that root back to the transatlantic slave trade. The Boston Globe reported that black and white clergy members met for a press conference intended to be held outside, though it was instead held in the basement of the Resurrection Lutheran Church on Saturday because of rain. The commission was established through a 2022 Boston City Council ordinance and made up of 10 members, including 2 from the youth community. Going to make a note here one more time. One living person in this country that ever owned slaves. There's not one single one of us that's ever been a slave that's living in this country today. What are we talking about? Farmers were oppressed.
Mm-hmm.
Women were oppressed. They didn't even get the right to vote for the longest time.
That's true. That's a good point. Very good point.
So should reparations be made? Should we rehold the elections? Should it be started out all over again, invalidate all the elections because women could not vote? How about blacks could not vote?
I think we should let history be history.
Things
And move
change.
on.
Things change during history.
Yes, they do.
That's what history's all about. It's change. Should we go back and blame Japan? Should we get reparations from Japan and Germany because of World War II for the 300,000 Americans who were killed during World War II?
Good point.
How many Southerners were killed during the Civil War? Should the South demand reparations for all of the crops that were burned?
Like I said, let history be history and move on.
Some things just you need to move on
Absolutely.
and take advantage of your historical knowledge. Do not let history be changed. Not what
from
I'm
it.
saying. Do not disavow the Auschwitz. It happened.
Right. I agree with that.
And whether it's a gubernatorial candidate or anybody else, the Holocaust is a reality.
Well, you want to talk or you want to bring that up? Latest North Carolina political poll shows Josh Stein leading at 49%.
And I'm sure that's about the way it's going to be.
Because the Democrats are working hard on
First
Robinson.
of all, Mr. Robinson is not out there campaigning as he should.
Well, he'll be here next week. You get to see him.
I'll have the opportunity to see him.
At a fundraiser.
Yeah.
Fundraising event. Yes. I invited Rayford to go.
Mm-hmm.
To talk to him. But yeah, I mean, they're hitting him with these Holocaust remarks.
Yes, as they should, from
and
2017.
I
But again, that
agree.
was 2017. He was not even in the political world at the time.
Well, yes, he was.
What was he doing?
He was. No, you're right. He was not in the political world at that time. It was shortly after that he came out with the talk at the Greensboro City
That's right.
Council.
And that was not
Right.
He did not use that. He turned that into a
Right.
political situation.
That's right.
Only all the fallout, not
That's
fallout,
right.
but all the great publicity that we got.
I don't agree with a lot of the statements that he's made over the years. The only thing I can say in a positive way is that I give him kudos for not changing his stance because it's not political for him to say, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
In
but-
other words, he's not backing down and going, oh, I'm sorry for what I said, because it's not PC. He's sticking to that. And I
Forget
have to
about
give him
not being
kudos for
PC,
that.
but how about little?
But that just shows his way of thinking.
I have
Right.
been shown the light here.
Yeah, it says a
Right.
lot about him. That is
Right.
how he feels.
Well, there's a whole lot of stuff that's been coming out, like his 2020 campaign finances are under investigation. Some issues there. Of course, there's an excuse for everything, but a lot of his remarks now, and I'm told that his opposition has a book that's a couple
I'm
inches
sure.
thick, and they're not going to let up every single day when I go to my news break. It's always about Robinson. Always about. I mean, he's the popular candidate, but I'm gonna tell you,
Well, people are going to have to turn out to vote, and he's going to have to get them there.
right?
And if he cannot get the Republicans united, and he cannot convince the mob group to vote for him, then
Right.
he's going to lose.
Well, right now they've got this big poll at Trump at 51%, Josh Stein at 49%, and I have a feeling that I just
Guess what happened the last time?
I'm gonna write it down, put it in the envelope, and we're just gonna let it lay there. And come November, we'll see how close I come. Yeah, it was probably Dorothy.
It is.
What the hell happened again? Okay. Hey, Dorothy, what's up?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Dorothy.
Listen, I wanted to talk to you guys. I had was reading about the judge that had said, "Oh, illegal citizens or legal aliens have the right to own a firearm in the United States of America based on the Constitution." But apparently, that same judge never read the 4473 to purchase a firearm legally in the United States form, which the most recent one, because they've been redoing them every now and then to add things like non-binary and do you live in city limits. Well, the most recent one has a question, as they all have had, that clearly asks, are you in the United States illegally? And our instructions are that if you mark yes, you are not allowed to have a firearm. And when you go to the back and you ask for a definition of what that question means, it clearly says forbidden persons is an alien illegally in the United States or an alien admitted to the United States under a non-immigrant visa. So
Now-
had this judge simply read the form, she would understand that that person, if they have a firearm, did not obtain it legally.
Now, here's the situation. Okay, as a gun dealer, when somebody comes in to fill out this form that ATF requires them to fill out, that's where the form you're talking about, right? Are you in the United States
Correct.
illegally?
Correct.
And if they answer no, then do you have to take that at face value?
Yes, I mean, if they answer no, that they're here legally, basically is what they'd be saying by answering no to that, then that means they have a United States photo identification, they have an address here, they have a utility bill, they may have a concealed carry permit. But the question, as it reads, is are you here illegally? And if they answer yes, our transaction stops at that point.
Yes. And if they answer no, then you sell them the gun, and some well-meaning police officer finds them as an illegal, finds that they are illegal and they're in possession of a gun. They can be charged at that point in time.
Based on this form, yes.
Because if
Based on this form, they
Violate-
they
he-
lied on a federal form.
and well, Hunter Biden lied on it, so we do know that you can be arrested when you lie on it, correct?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It says it clear as day right in the beginning of it.
What's good for Hunter is good for the illegals too, right?
Absolutely.
I cannot imagine what a judge, what some legal eagle would be thinking about saying, okay, yeah, you have the constitutional right. First of all, that is not your constitution.
Correct. And that to me is almost terrifying that this judge feels that way. And when you read the circumstance behind the arrest of this person, he was shooting at vehicle.
Yeah.
Now, what happened if he had killed that judge's family? Would that judge still feel the same way, that this person still had a constitutional right?
Well, if he sounds as liberal as he sounds, if he is as liberal as he sounds, he probably would say, that's okay. I mean, I could get me another family.
I guess. But and we're all seeing this. We're seeing our country unravel in front of us by the powers that are in charge, and I just don't understand why. We have these steps in process already. These are already rules and laws. The judges are just not following them, and that's scary.
We have enough gun laws in this country to take care of anything that should happen in this country. Even the loopholes have been closed in virtually every case, except when you get a judge like this.
Correct.
Creating loopholes. There's no loophole in that law. There's none. Zero.
No.
It's clear.
No.
There's no loophole in the Second Amendment. Even the apostrophe is in the correct place. Seriously.
Absolutely. No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. It's a simple document, easy to follow, and they just don't seem to understand that.
Yeah, I mean, our founding fathers said, keep it simple, stupid. Unfortunately, there are too many stupid people around.
Yes, they're multiplying.
Oh, well,
They're
anyway.
multiplying.
So you guys, if they come and say that, okay, no, I'm not an illegal as a gun dealer, and you say, okay, well, can you say prove it?
Yes, I certainly can, especially if they're not using a form of ID that would be standard, like if they're using a passport or if they're using some other kind of photo ID other than a driver's license or a state ID. We can certainly ask them to prove it. And as we've discussed before, the gun business is one of the few that for any reason we can stop a transaction.
Okay, if they a passport, they have to have before they can get a U.S. passport, they got to have a birth certificate and all sorts of documentation.
Correct.
Now, if they got all of that with the U.S. passport, if it's a U.S. passport, but if it's a foreign passport, that should be a red flag right there.
Absolutely.
But if they have what happens if they got a driver's license, a North Carolina driver's license with their picture on it and a North Carolina address?
Well, unfortunately, that happens.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that and hearing about it from other gun dealers more and more. So that's a great big concern to me with the process you have to go through to get a driver's license. Why is this being allowed at all? I mean, I've been to other countries in the world. I was never offered an opportunity to just walk into their DMV and get a driver's license.
Nope.
I wasn't a resident there. I didn't pay taxes there. I didn't live there.
Nope. Now, the ATF, if I'm not mistaken, help me out here, Ms. FFL, that's a federal firearms licensed company. You have the right, the responsibility, regardless of what an individual tells you, when they're standing there before you, to decline to give them a permit, to give them a gun, and refer them to somewhere else. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
And the ATF encourages you to do just that. Is that not right?
Yes, absolutely. They say if something feels wrong, if something doesn't set right with you, just cancel the sale.
Well, I would hope that all of the FFLs in this country would do exactly the same thing for the sake of the country.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely. But of course, you have other states, like Florida and Texas, where you have a much larger immigrant population than we do right around here.
Uh-huh.
So they're really put to the challenge with documentation.
Well, it would be tough to get one past me. Maybe you need to hire me.
Yeah. We can make that happen.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, okay, Dorothy, we appreciate it. I'm sure there's somebody going to disagree with you, but we'll wait and see.
Yeah, and two other judges before this judge said no.
That should be a clue.
It's interesting that they just kept going until they found a judge that agreed.
Well, we do know that people shop for judges.
Yeah.
Yes, they do.
That is the truth.
The best that money can buy.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Mm-hmm. Dorothy, thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thanks,
All right, you
Dorothy.
take care.
That's such an unreal story.
Scary,
I
though.
cannot even believe it. Oh, yeah, I sneaked across the border, but yeah, give me a gun.
I'm gonna tell you, I still had my federal firearms
You wouldn't do it.
license. I wouldn't do it.
No.
They walked in there and they didn't have documentation to show that they were American citizen and had driver's license or something. I wouldn't sell it to them. Nope. I'd probably go to jail, but nope.
Nope, you don't have to go to jail. It's a federal firearms licensed individual.
That's
If
right.
you don't feel good about it, the ATF encourages you just say
Right.
no.
I would say no.
All
I
right.
would definitely say no.
910-333-0139. It is Open Mic Monday. Y'all want to chat? Now's your time. 910-333-0139. You're live and local Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
In a season of falling temperatures and rising energy bills, your local Bryant professional is always ready, standing by to protect your home's comfort and defend you from uncomfortable temperatures and the higher energy bills associated with them. Ready to do whatever it takes for your home, your family, and you to be comfortable without breaking the bank. Because when the temperature falls, that's when your local Bryant professional turns up the heat efficiently.
Call Down East Heating and Air Conditioning at 346-4311 and let them keep you comfortable this winter. Down East Heating and Air Conditioning, serving our community for over 25 years. Also, Down East can help you with your home guttering needs. Call Down East today at 346-4311.
Bryant, whatever it takes.
Job, full-time, part-time, Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Drs. Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the state of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry.
Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing specializes in residential and commercial interior and exterior painting. In fact, they paint most anything except cars, including homes, businesses, apartment complexes, decks, and they do minor repairs, wood repairs, pressure washing, waterproofing, and more, including storm repair and cleanup. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing, fully licensed, insured, and locally owned and operated by Roger Carroll Jr. References available and customer satisfaction is always guaranteed. So if you want to painted, maintained, power washed, or need a new roof, call Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, and Power Washing at 910-939-0749 or visit southerntouchpaintingnc.com. Southern Touch Painting, Maintenance, Power Washing, and Roofing salutes our troops and is proud to be part of the continued growth of Onslow and surrounding counties.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back, and we have a caller. Kelly had to leave today. She's got to go do some training. So, but we have Bill on the line. Hey, Bill, what's up?
Hi, good morning. I was calling just to ask, I guess, when they're talking about that reparation thing for slavery and stuff, was that Boston, North Carolina, or was that Boston, Mass?
I hope it's Boston, Mass.
That was a no slave state, no slave colony.
Yeah. Well, they had slaves. You can rest assured there were slaves all over everywhere. We know there were slaves in New York. A lot of folks had slaves, not just those south of the border.
Yeah.
I mean, south of the Mason-Dixon line.
That was a slave state at the time of the Constitution. It was a slave colony. So, but yeah, it was just weird because I know they did it up there because of Prince Charles requested his father to do away with slavery, and that's when they read the Emancipation Proclamation for all of Britain, and that they got a lot of disruption and opposition. Felt that slavery was right, and
well, one of the big deals was the opposition came immediately, and a lot of people that did not own slaves or did not like the idea of owning slaves. They did not like the federal government coming down and saying this we're going to order it. States' rights was the big issue, one of the big issues at the time. And yes, most Southerners did not own slaves. They could not afford them. They worked the farms themselves. The big plantation owners are the ones that owned the slaves for the most part. Yes, there were other cases, but the plantation owners were the ones for the most part. And yes, it should never have been the case, but it was a thing at the time.
Yeah, that was sort of weird hearing that, to say someone's really lost in space there, and ought to go back and do the history lessons again, and maybe just rethink something else to think of. So, but anyway, today, like that, I'd missed part of that woman's talk about her business there, where they threw axes and stuff. Do they is there like special axes they do that with?
Yes, they've got some axes down there. They got some chunking axes down there at
what?
They're called chunking. Oh, well, I call them chunking axes. Yes, you take them and you throw them at a target. It's a wooden target, and you try to stick it in the bullseye.
It's a great stress reliever.
Do they have? Is that like a? I know I'd seen different, like lumberjack kind of Olympics where they did that.
Yeah, lumberjacks use the big axes. They use the full-fledged axes to throw. I mean, they're lumberjacks. Think about it.
Yeah.
But these are...
Yeah, no, it hit me. That was interesting. I don't know how... Was her business doing good? Did
Yes.
she mention that? I was driving my vehicle and I hit a dead space and I missed a lot of what she was saying.
Okay. You need to go down there, go to Holly Ridge, and as you're approaching the red light, you will look on the right-hand side of 17, and you will see the fire department there. Just take a left, and it'll be immediately on your right as you're going down. You can't miss it. So, you need to take a ride down there one day and just go in there. So you got an arcade. You can see some old machines like the kind that you and I used to know in the in some of the parlors way back when. Good gracious, all sorts of antique stuff in there.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Yeah. I noticed I was down by Thailand this weekend, too, and I was at the marina across across the way there. And I noticed they put in a vending machine for kayaks. I'd never seen that before.
Really? Where's that?
Yeah. It's right on the right where they had the boat prep area where you prep your boat before while you waited for someone else to pull their trailer out after they put their boat in the water. Yeah, and they put a big cage, and it's all I guess electric locks and stuff.
Wow.
And each bin that has a kayak in it, and then where you put your debit card or your credit card or whatever kind of money card you use for that. And I'd never seen anything like that before. That big of it.
We got to ask about that. I wonder if it's private enterprise or whether it's part of the I don't know, wildlife. If it's a private vendor is what I'm going to guess, and they have paying a lease or something on it, or
Right.
percentage is what I would guess. That's a good idea.
Yes.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's there, it's in place, and I don't know how it was working. I was going to ask you if you'd seen it, if it was working out, but
I'll find
that's
out.
news to you too.
Yeah, I will definitely find out, Bill. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
All right. Have a good day.
All right. Thank you, Bill. Let's take a break. You're live and local. Real Talk, Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME, 910-333-0139. We'll be right back.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Hello, shoppers. Take advantage of these specials and many more at your locally owned and operated Richlands Piggly Wiggly, where good things cost less. Down home, down the street, Highway 24, Richlands. Whole fresh picnic, $1.29 a pound. Half-cut boneless strip loin, $7.99 a pound. Half-cut boneless strip loin, $7.99 a pound. Family pack cube beef steak, just $5.79 a pound. Whole bottom round, $3.99 a pound. White, red, or black seedless grapes, $2.99 a pound. 1 pound package of strawberries, $9. Enjoy down-home country cooking in the deli, 7 days a week in the store. Country breakfast starts at 5:30 a.m. daily at your Richlands Piggly Wiggly Deli and is home to the famous Moro Bowl. Can also take advantage of the fast, friendly pharmacy located inside Richlands Piggly Wiggly. Richlands Piggly Wiggly, down home, down the good things cost less. Highway 24, Richlands. Remember, save big with the pig. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, your trusted local Carrier indoor weather team. Serving all of your heating and air conditioning needs since 1967, now offers residential and commercial duct and dryer vent cleaning, and now offers expert residential and commercial plumbing service. In case of a power outage due to a storm or for any reason, be prepared with a Generac generator for your home or business. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning has Generac generators in stock ready to install today. Remember, better breathing comes with cleaner air. Let Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning improve the air quality in your home or business with professional air duct cleaning. As always, Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning is available 24/7 for all your heating, cooling, and plumbing emergency needs. Turn to the Carrier experts. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning, with locations in Jacksonville and Hempstead. Visit online, humphreyheating.com, and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Humphrey Heating and Air Conditioning since 1967. Relax, we're on the way.
Chico's Tires, 2320 Wilmington Highway is Jacksonville's oldest tire company, and now Jacksonville's newest tire company is Little Chico's, located at 1675 North Marine Boulevard. Little Chico's carries all the major brands and all sizes, such as Michelin, Goodyear, BF Goodrich, Bridgestone, and many others, and all new tires have warranty. In addition to a great selection of new tires, Little Chico's has used tires starting at only $30. In addition to new and used tires, Little Chico's does brake service, minor auto and truck repair, expert custom window tinting, and towing. So if you need tires, new or used, brake service, minor auto or truck repair, expert window tinting, or if you need a tow, visit Jacksonville's newest tire store, Little Chico's, 1675 North Marine Boulevard. By phone, 910-333-0473 for Little Chico's Tire Service, located at 1675 North Marine Boulevard, right here in Jacksonville.
Freedom 97.1 WSME.
It's live and local real talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Well, since Joseph Biden took over back in 2021, January 20th, 7.2 million illegals have entered the United States. That number is greater than the population of 36 states.
Good Lord. When you think about it that way, that's a lot of people.
Every Democratic lawmaker in the Senate voted against an amendment that would bar taxpayer funds from being used to fly illegal aliens into the United States, into towns and cities across these United States. Senator Bill Hagerty of Tennessee said, tonight every single Senate Democrat voted against my amendment that would stop Biden administration from using taxpayer dollars to charter flights for hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens from their countries directly to American towns to be resettled. We do not know where they're going. We don't know when the planes come in. We don't know what flights are on. We know nothing. All we do is we know that they're taking money out of our pockets.
Do you think Homeland Security can even keep up with
No.
it? No, I don't think so either.
Senator Hagerty announced earlier last week that he was set to file an amendment to the appropriations bill that would prohibit federal funds from being used to secretly fly illegals from other nations directly into states across the country. They're coming from Honduras, Venezuela, and three other countries. I don't even know what to say about this. 7.2 million have entered this country in a little over 3 years. The amendment was in response to recent news stories reporting the Biden administration flew an estimated 320,000 illegal immigrants from their home nations to the United States in 2023 alone. This has been going on. It's a secret anti-U.S. mission.
I don't know what we're going to do. What are we gonna do, Rayford?
Lawmakers voted against him 51-47. All Democrats voted against the amendment, but no Republicans voted against it. The amendment was included in the Senate's late night vote Friday to avoid a government shutdown. The House passed the $1.2 trillion government funding bill earlier Friday before making its way to the Senate, where lawmakers were in a standoff on whether to vote on amendments to the bill. Now, they waited. $1.2 trillion. How much does it cost to fly an airplane from Venezuela to various cities across this country loaded with illegals?
I have no clue.
My flight round trip to that neck of the woods is going to run about $1,200 if I buy it in advance. And that ain't first class.
Right.
Anywhere from $900 to $1,200 typically. Now 737 will hold, let's just do it easy, 150 passengers, give or take. It'll hold more. But let's just say 150 times $1,000 is $152,000 round trip for a charter flight.
Right. A lot cheaper than housing them.
$152,000 to fly a plane to Venezuela and then back from Venezuela loaded with the illegals.
Oh.
There's my tax dollars.
Oh, so much waste in tax
And they've been
dollars
doing
right
this.
now.
They've been doing this for over a year.
Well, I'm glad they signed a temporary budget to keep a lot of people in work and getting their paychecks. But boy, what a mess that was.
Well, I mean, I would be opposed to them signing it. I'd be okay if they didn't sign it. But the problem there is they go back and give them back pay. They're on a vacation. They give them back pay with extra money. And then they got to pay somebody else to do the other guy's work and pay them overtime.
Let's see. I'll find the statement that Greg Murphy put out on that. I think he was opposed to signing it.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find his statement. But, you know, the problem is we need just a standalone bill for the budget.
Yes,
Nothing
we do.
else in it. Just the budget. And it's already caused some Republicans. Oh, you got Marjorie Taylor Greene now, who's talking about doing a motion to vacate the Speaker of the House.
Yeah, I know. What
I'm
purpose,
like,
what
hey,
purpose is that
stop.
going to serve? This bill was going to have to be passed. They're going to have a budget bill.
Right.
Otherwise, we're just going to be in limbo again, continue in limbo. It costs us more not to have a budget than it costs us to have a budget. That's the scary thing.
Well, that's why I think it should be a standalone bill.
Of course. All of them should be standalone bills.
That's where you run into problems with a lot of these different sides going, no, not voting for it, not voting for it. Let's see if I can find his where it went. Because he did put out a notice on it.
Yep.
Yes, I'm anxious to have him on. We're waiting to hear back from his office because there's a lot of questions.
Yeah, we need to get Murphy on there this week if we can.
Right.
Okay, let's take a break, do a little Fox News, and we'll be back on the other side. You're live and local Real Talk. Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.
Fox News. I'm Chris Foster. Former President Trump's expected in New York at a pretrial hearing for his criminal hush money case. He has until today to secure payment for a $500 million civil business fraud judgment against him.
Trump and his legal team have appealed and requested a stay on the bond ordered by Judge Arthur Engoron. AG Letitia James says she'll begin seizing Trump's assets, including 40 Wall Street and his Seven Springs estate in Westchester County, as early as today.
Fox's Sue Guzman. Four men from the former Soviet Republic Tajikistan are charged with terrorism for a concert attack in Moscow, killing at least 137 people.
3 of the suspects were marched bent double into court. The fourth brought in a wheelchair and appeared to lose consciousness. All appeared to have been beaten, and Russian media reports at least one suffered electric shocks during interrogation.
Fox's Jonathan Savage, the Islamic State terrorist group, claims responsibility for the attack. America's listening to Fox News.
Freedom 97.1.
WSME.
It's live and local. Real talk.
Okay, you found something there?
Yes, this is from Congressman Murphy on the budget that was just signed. He said the second government funding package contains many non-negotiable elements of which I disapprove. It lacks meaningful provisions to secure our open border, end DEI initiatives corrosive to our military, and cut federal funding for the woke social agenda. Democrats are pushing on our institutions. Washington badly needs more bipartisanship and less division, but I must draw a line in the sand. I voted against the bill.
Well, I'm glad he did, but there's not really a whole lot of choice. He did it, so, he made a stance.
Yes.
Not that it was going to go anywhere.
Well,
but, at least his position is
There's
clear.
a lot of Republicans that voted against it,
Yes,
but
I
the
know.
Democrats is what helped put it through.
Of course, they're the ones who did put it
Now
through.
you got Miss MTG, Marjorie Taylor Greene, who's stirring up a dust cloud. And
Yeah.
I'm like, well, they've got 2 weeks off right now. So let's just hope during these 2 weeks, they all just sit back and reflect.
I think they need to go to a refresher course of the Constitution and learn how the civil law works. And they need to take a civility class at the same time.
They need to go to a resort and all sit out there and hold hands and sing Kumbaya or something. Toast some marshmallows. They need to get along.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen.
No.
Right along there with world peace.
Tomorrow night, I'm going to a meeting to elect a new state GOP chairman. So that's going to be
So
interesting.
you're going to have to drive 5,000 miles and then drive 5,000 miles back to elect one. Why can't you do it by proxy?
You can't. They don't allow that. 93 miles. 93 miles one way.
So that's 200 miles round trip.
Well, I had my say so because one of the persons running called and asked for support. I said, why are you having this on a weeknight when everybody's working?
Good.
Why are you having it to everybody has to travel? There's people traveling 6 hours to go to this and having to get hotel rooms. Why can't you have it on a weekend? Sounds like to me that y'all are just making it hard on people to go.
Mm-hmm.
I had my say. I did it very
Well, good.
nicely, but I let them know that I think there's shenanigans involved in this.
No kidding. And that's on the Republican side.
Yes.
My God.
State level.
If you can't beat Trump at the polls in November, the next best bet is to cause him as much financial grief as possible to make it tough to continue campaigning against incumbent Joe Biden for president in November. The New York Attorney General's office has filed judgments in Westchester County, the first indication that the state is preparing to try to seize Trump's golf course and private estate north of Manhattan known as Seven Springs. State lawyers entered the judgments with the clerk's office in Westchester County on March 6th, just 1 week after Judge Arthur Engoron made official his $464 million decision against Trump, his sons Donald and Eric Trump, and the Trump Organization. He's going after everyone.
Yeah, he's got today to pay that $454 million, or they're going to start seizing his assets.
That's what they said. The
Yep.
decision against Trump and the difficulty the former president is having securing a bond while he appeals the verdict strikes directly at Trump's image as a billionaire as he attempts to raise more cash for both his legal bills and third run for the White House. That's what one pundit on CNN wrote. The decision against Trump and the difficulty the former president is having securing a bond while he appeals the verdict strikes directly at Trump's image as a billionaire. In other words, they're saying he ain't as much man as he thinks. Yes, he is a billionaire. But as most wealthy businessmen, much of his wealth is tied up in investments, not a lot of loose millions lying around. That's just not the way it's done. Why do you want $464 million in cash lying around gaining no interest?
Maybe he can borrow some from Fannie. She's got money in her house. Well, let me tell you though, Reverend, can you ever remember anyone throughout the history of the United States that was taken to court for like a fraud case like this, found guilty and ordered to pay within 30 days. I mean,
No, especially when they say, I'm appealing this.
right.
When you're on appeal, is generally all things are on hold as they were before the trial.
Which makes me believe that this is all political.
No kidding.
They're trying to do everything they can to keep him from running for presidency.
Well, it's painful. Well, he's running, but they're
Right.
doing everything they can to keep him from being elected.
Right, true.
It's painfully obvious that the Democrats have weaponized the legal system with pundits like New York Attorney General Letitia James, not to forget good old Fannie, what's her name down there in Atlanta,
Fannie Willis.
who is doing the work of the Democrats in Georgia.
Mhm.
Our legal system has no place in politics. It
I
leaves
agree.
a bad taste in my mouth when it's misused and it is being done. If Trump has done anything illegal, go after him. But trying to neutralize his efforts to run for office is the worst kind of unbalanced justice I can imagine. Pollster Frank Luntz recently warned that James' efforts to seize Trump's properties could devastate Democrats in the upcoming election. Not just Joe Biden, but Democrats across the board for U.S. House, for the U.S. Senate.
Right.
1/3 of the people in the U.S. Senate are up for election this year.
Yes.
Many of those are Democrats.
And you've got many right now, especially on the Republican side, they're talking about quitting,
Yes.
resigning, leaving. This is a huge mess.
In a court filing last week, Trump's legal team said getting the amount of money needed was a practical impossibility under the circumstances presented. No kidding.
I agree.
James has threatened to seize Trump's assets and suggested that the former president should secure the entire value by selling off his real estate holdings, which his attorney Clifford S. Roberts called unconstitutional. Think about it. Oh, well, you don't have the money? Why don't you sell some of that very prime real estate that you got out there?
Well, let me ask you this. If he was to sell everything he had to pay off that $454 million and then whatever else is coming up that he's going to have to pay for, do you think it's going to stop him from trying to gain the presidency? No.
That's going to invigorate him.
Right.
James has threatened to seize Trump's assets and suggested that the former president should secure the entire value by selling off his real estate holdings. His attorney, I thought I fixed that problem.
No, you didn't. I think it's Steve.
In his words, and the attorney's words, it would be completely illogical and the definition of an unconstitutional excessive fine and a taking to require defendants to sell properties at all, and especially in a fire sale, in order to be able to appeal the lawless Supreme Court judgment, as that would cause harm that cannot be repaired once the defendants do win, as is overwhelmingly likely on appeal. Pollster Luntz asserted that any efforts to seize Trump's assets will destroy Biden's chances of being reelected in November. What do you think about that, Steve?
Good morning, guys.
How are you?
Man, there's a lot of stuff you said this morning that falls under the inaccurate category.
In your opinion? Go ahead and qualify that first. Go ahead and qualify. That's your opinion, as it is mine.
Well, I don't even know what I'm going to say. So how can you determine whether it's my opinion or whether I'm going to say
well, it is your opinion. It will be in the interpretation. The interpretation will be your opinion, right?
2 + 2 is 4. Is that an opinion?
I'm sorry, say again.
Is it an opinion?
It's what now?
Did I say fact or opinion, Rayford? 2 + 2 is 4. Is that a fact or is that an opinion?
Well, it depends upon how you do.
Is it a fact or is it opinion? Is it a fact or an opinion?
Are you going to let me answer or not?
It's a fact. It's a fact.
According to you, yes.
Of course it is. So what I say can be opinion or it can be fact.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that comes out my mouth is not necessarily an opinion.
Mhm.
Every once in a while, I do articulate a fact.
Okay.
As contrary to what you believe. And the first one is that if you file an appeal in a civil case, you have to put up the money to file the appeal. Everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
And he had to put that money up to file an appeal in the Eugene Carroll case, and to the tune of $80-some million. And his lawyers went in there and said he does not have the money to put up this $500 million. And he immediately went on his little social network and says he does have that much cash. So now they're going to have to argue with the judge against what he said he has. So, that first thing you said about that nobody has to put up the money to file an appeal, that's inaccurate. That's not true. You do have to put up the money to file an appeal. The next thing I'd like to address is that you're talking about Biden flying all these illegal immigrants into these inner cities.
Yes.
I question that. I don't say you're wrong, but I question that because you call everybody illegal, including the people who have documentation that proves you wrong. And if they're flying these people into these cities out of Venezuela, could it be possible that they've applied for asylum while still remaining in their country, like you wanted them to do, and then once they're granted a hearing, that they're flown to this country?
The point is, why are we petting up the money to fly anybody into this country?
Because if we are resettling them, if it's part of our immigration process, then you need to change that process.
What?
I said, if that is part of our immigration process, then your problem is with the process, not with the people implementing it.
Then I think a whole bunch of Irishmen and their families need reparations for all of the efforts that they went through to get to this country without our help.
I didn't say reparations.
I did.
So you're for reparations now?
No, I just said if all these people that we're flying them into this country now at my expense and your expense, we're flying them into this country, courtesy of the United States government, and we did not do that for all of the other immigrants that came into this country legally?
Well, here's the thing. You keep saying that they came here illegally.
I just said the other people came, the other people.
That's your opinion.
It is.
I would argue that there's no way they came here illegally if we flew them in on a plane and resettled them.
Well,
I guarantee you, everyone I've told them paperwork that proves you wrong that they now have legal status here.
Then we rewrote.
I ain't saying I agree with that.
Then we rewrote the law.
What do you mean we rewrote it?
We have never flown anybody from other countries into this country I do know some individuals that were flown into this country because of certain situations that they helped this country in our military situation in other countries. But I do not know mass immigrations like you're talking about. What is it? 5,000 a week or something that are being flown into this country?
Where'd you get the 5,000 number from?
That's from the White House.
Okay. Well, my point is that these people probably have some kind of legal status. Otherwise, the Republicans would be suing Joe Biden over this.
Well, they probably will be.
Because it's illegal. If it was illegal, they'd be suing him over it. But they're not. So more than likely, these people have some kind of legal status that makes them not illegals. So that right there changes your whole story.
A war of words.
I'm sorry?
A war of words. Your interpretation versus my interpretation. You cannot.
Rayford. If they
Steve,
have paperwork that proves you wrong, how is that an interpretation?
Steve,
if they have legal status, how can you call them illegal?
Steve, we cannot.
Where is your logic?
Steve, we cannot wave a magic wand and make something right that is wrong. We cannot do that.
Here's the thing, though, is that if you have a problem with it, the problem is our immigration laws. It's not the people who are coming here taking advantage of that situation. It's not the people who are implementing those policies. The problem is the policy, is the law. And we had a group of people that wanted to change that just a couple of weeks ago. And a certain group of Republicans said they didn't want nothing fixed down there because they didn't want it to look good for Joe Biden. Why would it look good for Joe Biden? What would it have to do to make him look good?
I don't know, but I think it's making him look pretty bad, to be honest with you.
You want it to do. And so they don't want it to work. They don't want to fix it. You're sitting here complaining against the wall. You're not, when these Republican congressmen call in, why are you not fussing them about that bill and them not picking the parts out that they should have kept?
The bill is all or nothing. That's the problem with bills like that. That's what we've been talking about all along. If we could just take the parts of a bill and vote on just those parts that we want instead of adding other crap to it, then we'd be better off.
I don't disagree with you there, but that bill was not a finalized bill. They could have offered amendments. They could have took in parts of that bill, and the House could have produced a new bill.
Yeah, well, they'll never get through the amendments. They tried that with this other
Yes.
stuff that they just did, and nobody agreed with the Republicans on the amendments. Nobody.
Here's the thing: is they came right out the gate and told you why they didn't want that bill, because Trump said, "Don't do it; it's going to make Biden look good." Then once they actually got to read some of the bills, they started trying to cherry pick stuff to make it like if that wasn't the reason they done it. But that was absolutely the reason they done it.
Well, I have no doubt that that's the reason. A lot of them did it. I have zero doubt about it. I said it at the time. It was a politicized bill from the get-go.
But they could have done something with it. The takeaway is that they don't want to do anything, Rayford. Even if they had a bill that does everything just like you say you want it done, they're not going to vote on it while Joe Biden's president.
The other thing is, it also included some stuff in there that a good chunk of us did not want to be included in there. Included a lot of giveaway money for other countries. Do a border bill and leave it as a border bill. Do a Ukraine bill, leave it as a Ukraine bill. Do a Gaza Strip bill, leave it as that. Just do whatever, but do them individually.
But Rayford, that criticism you just gave falls squarely on the shoulders of the Republicans.
It falls on the shoulders of every politician in Washington.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
No, sir. It does not. It does not.
You
Because
cannot.
the Republicans in the House are the ones that insisted that all those bills be lumped together. They insisted on that, and then when they got that, now they're sitting there trying to make you believe that that's the reason not.
I
to
just
vote
read a
for it.
statement
Not the
from
way that I
Congressman
recall it.
Murphy.
I ain't saying that they shouldn't have been lumped together. I agree, they shouldn't have been lumped together. That the reason they were lumped together is because the MAGA Republicans insisted on them being lumped together.
Not the way
Well,
I
I just
recall
read
it.
a statement from Congressman Murphy who voted against it for that reason, the stuff that was lumped in with it.
I fully understand that, but the Speaker of the House is the one that insisted it all be lumped together. He said he was not going to do a Ukraine bill unless it had border security in it. He was not going to do a foreign aid bill unless it had border security.
Well, that's
he demanded it all be lumped together.
see, and some of the Republicans that are blaming him, that is not the case. If it had been just a border bill, if he had insisted on being nothing but a border bill, but the Democrats were pushing for Ukraine, they were pushing for this, they were pushing for that. And he said, the only way I'll do it is if there is border security included. He was trying to get it through one way or the other to get border security. Otherwise, it would never have been included. You know that.
Okay, Rayford, but then why did they kill it?
Because
Why
it
did they kill
included,
when they got what they wanted.
because they didn't get what they wanted. They got all of this other stuff that was included. Why not have just a border bill, just a Ukraine bill, just a humanitarian aid bill for Gaza, and vote on them individually? Or at least have the right to veto line item vetoes. Why can't we have that?
It'll never
Rayford,
happen.
You're talking in circles because the reason you can't have that is because Mike Johnson said he didn't want that.
No,
He
Mike Johnson,
demanded it all be put together. He could have said, I need 3 individual bills. He didn't say
He
that.
could have
"I
said
need
that.
One
He-
bill
he-
to have everything.
and that would never have gone anywhere.
Yeah, and in the meantime,
but
the
at
government
least it would have
shuts
been what
down.
you said needed to be done.
Well,
I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't say that you wanted them all separate, but if they would have done that, it wouldn't have went nowhere. I mean, how do you win in that scenario, right?
Do you think that if it did,
it wouldn't have worked either way you done it?
do you think that if
they
it,
shouldn't have voted on it no matter what?
do you think, Steve, that if it had been just a border bill to provide security, guaranteed security, including a wall or whatever's needed, whatever the experts say, I'm not an expert, so I don't know. But if it could show a reason, a good cause about how the border could be secured, and as a standalone bill, do you think the Democrats would have supported it?
We'll never know. Honestly, I
That's wavering.
I was having trouble believing that the Democrats were going to support the bill as it was because it was a heavily conservative bill.
Mm-hmm.
And I honestly, the Democrats should have been the ones who said they didn't want to vote for it. It shouldn't have been the Republicans. And even if we would have had a standalone bill for the border, you do know that Trump still would have come up and said he didn't want that because it would have made Joe Biden look
I
good.
do not know anything about what Trump would say, and he doesn't have a vote. He doesn't have a vote.
I'm just saying that's what he did. We don't have to speculate when he do that. That's what he did, and he said he killed it because he didn't want the border bill done. And by coincidence, they didn't get aid to Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why the Democrats were pushing for that bill is because that is mission critical. You know, there are people in Ukraine right now that are dying because they don't get that money.
There are
And that's
people
the
in this
argument
country
we
who
hear
are
about the
dying
Southern border.
every day because we got illegals coming into this country bringing fentanyl.
And I can see that. That's what I said.
So let me ask you
Some
this.
argument could be made.
So let me ask you this, Steve. Are
Those are
you,
important, so why couldn't we put them together?
again, Steve, let me ask you this. Are you more concerned about the people in Ukraine, or are you more concerned about the people who are dying in this country by the thousands, 100+ thousand every year from fentanyl overdoses?
Let me ask you this.
No. You say answer the question.
Listen.
You told me to answer the question.
I'm answering the question if you let me.
With a question?
No, it's not really. I guess it is answering it with a question, but I have to clarify before. It's more of a statement. Can't both things be true? Can't both things be very important and need to be addressed immediately?
And we could have world peace too, Miss America contestant.
Does it have to be one or the other? Can we not do more than one thing at one time?
No, we cannot.
Yeah.
You will never get it through.
As far as you're concerned.
No.
As far as the Republicans are concerned, we can't.
I'm saying
They're dysfunctional and can't govern.
in
They can't
reality,
even do one thing at a time.
in reality, we've got to take on one project at a time. If you scatter your resources so wide, you will never get anything done. You will never move forward. You can vote on aid to Ukraine, aid to humanitarian aid to the Gaza folks. You can vote on all of that after you've got this border wall or whatever security system you're going to have. I use that generically speaking. You can, once you've got that project through and you're working on it, then yes, let's tackle Ukraine. Doing them simultaneously does not work.
Your logic is flawed.
No, it's not. It's like me
The
taking on
reality
12
is
projects
that
in my
we-
backyard in one time without completing one. Doesn't work.
As hard as it is for you to believe, we have, if prior Congresses have passed multiple bills, foreign aid, border security, budgets. It's this Congress that is completely dysfunctional and can't pass anything.
Mm-hmm. Well, we haven't got border security. I don't care what they did, scattered their efforts.
We do need border security, but what you've got is a group of Republicans that do not want anything to move forward at this point.
What do you think polls show about what the people in this country think is the most important projects to take on first? Number one, what is the most important thing in people's minds right now?
I'm going to go with border security.
Yes,
that's
let's
much
get it
more
done.
In your mind, so I'll say that's.
Well, let me ask you this, Steve. What grade would you give Vice President Harris for her role as border czar? What grade would you give her for what she's done?
Honestly, I ain't seen anything I could even grade her on. But that being said, I haven't never seen any vice president do anything in my whole life. They've all been just like ladies in waiting or understudy. I ain't never seen a vice president that accomplished anything.
I'm going back in time and trying to think of
Every
something.
vice president I've ever seen.
I'm trying to think of something and I can't.
I can't think of anything either.
I don't know.
But yeah, am I going to say that they got the border secure and that they're winning down there? No, they're not. And even by their own definition, they say they do not have the resources to even come close to accomplishing anything that anybody wants to see done.
When we're losing 110,000, I think it was last calendar year, right? 110,000 Americans died from fentanyl overdoses. Fentanyl comes across our southern border. It comes from China to Mexico and into our across our southern border and into a house near you. It's killing people in Onslow County. It's killing people everywhere in this country. 110,000 last calendar year.
Well, let me ask you this, Rayford. Is that situation not important enough to maybe if we had a bill that was going to address it, that if there was some portfolio spending in there, that we would have went ahead and passed it on through because this is too important to pass? To not have something done about it?
I think
even if all the bills were lumped together, isn't border security important enough that we should have still passed it, even though they lumped it all together?
I think it should have been a full force attack on that border to stop the illegals from coming across. It's to stop the drug trade. The money that they were going to put into it was kind of like a token. I will guarantee you there was not enough money to do the project that needs to be done. If you don't believe that, ask Border Patrol. The guys on the front line. Don't ask me. I've never been. I have been to that border too, but not recently. It's been decades ago. But anyway,
The
those are
Patrol-
issues.
The Border Patrol Union endorsed that bill and said it wasn't perfect, but it was the best border reform bill.
I know
they've
what
seen in 30
I know
years.
what the union endorsed. I know exactly what the union endorsed. They were hoping something would be done. Anything was better than nothing. But now we have now.
But you're saying nothing is better.
I did
what
not.
you're saying,
I
is
did
nothing
not
is
say
better.
that. I said what needs to be done is to pass a bill and put enough stuff in there to take care of the problem at the border. We have the resources to make that happen. The money is there to make it happen, Steve, but we cannot dilute our efforts there.
Right now, we have 100 high-tech fentanyl detection machines that have already been bought and paid for, and they're sitting there on the ground waiting to be installed. And part of that $14 billion that Biden asked for in the supplemental spending bill is to install those machines.
$300 million to install machines that we've already paid for. Duh.
Right, but
that was pretty stupid,
I
wasn't
don't
it?
want to install them. They're just sitting there doing nothing.
Why wasn't the money?
Bought and paid for them.
Why wasn't the money included in the purchase price?
Why is the sky blue, Rayford? I mean,
It's
if you're
not.
trying to,
It's
tear
not.
down
It's black.
Every effort to do something to secure that border. All you're doing is trying to tear down every effort to secure that border.
No, I'm not.
It's the most important thing.
Absolutely not.
You are.
No, I'm not. But
why
you
didn't
have
they
your
do it
opinion.
already? If
You
they
have
don't
your
have it,
opinion,
they didn't do it
Steve.
already, it needs to be done.
You have your opinion, Steve, but we'll let the public decide. Got to go. We're late for weather.
We're late.
Y'all have a blessed
You
day.
You're
too.
live on Local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
WSME.
Have you gotten your copy of Topsail Times newspaper this week? If not, did you know that Topsail Times is Topsail area's only local newspaper in print? Started a little over a year ago, we now have over 1,500 online subscribers and 5,000 printed copies that go out every 2 weeks. And we never charge our readers. Information should be free to our readers, and we stick by that. Looking for an idea for date night? Want to learn some local history? How about asking a veterinarian about your pet? These things and more are on each copy of the Topsail Times newspaper. Want to get the word out about your business? We offer great rates for full color ads, and the online paper version is always included for free. Need help designing the perfect ad? We can do that too. We're always looking for human interest stories, so start writing. And we love local photos too. Check out our website at topsailtimes.net, where you can find out where to pick up a copy or check out our latest publication online.
Mohawk All Pet Protection and Warranty is the only cover protection and warranty for all pets, all accidents, all the time. Because your pets are family members too. No matter how you live, we've got you covered. Soft, luxurious, smart strand forever clean carpet. Gorgeous, durable, solid tech luxury vinyl tile. Mohawk has the ultimate floor for every room in your home that's suitable for all pets. For details, contact Watkins Floor Covering online at watkinsnewfloor.com. Watkins Floor Covering, thanking you for voting them the best of the best for 2023 in the flooring covering and carpet cleaning category. Watkins Floor Covering, they're more than just floors. It's custom showers, custom tubs, carpet cleaning, backsplashes, bathrooms, commercial, retail, and home flooring too. Watkins Floor Covering, family owned and operated since 1997 with locations in Jacksonville and Surf City. Watkins Floor Covering, you stand on it, we stand behind it.
For 40 years now, people throughout Jacksonville and Onslow County have trusted Barnes Diamond Gallery for all needs for every special occasion. They understand that every day is a special event for someone, whether celebrating a wedding, anniversary, birthday, engagement, or graduation. Let Barnes Diamond Gallery custom design something for you. Barnes Diamond Gallery does on-site repair in addition to their quality and selection of diamonds, diamond fashion bands, pendants, watches, earrings, gemstone rings, and necklaces for anyone for any occasion. Major credit cards accepted. Layaway available. Barnes Diamond Gallery offers appraisals and paid top market prices for gold and silver. Barnes Diamond Gallery, 461 Western Boulevard, Suite 120, Jacksonville, open 9:30 to 5:30, Monday through Friday.
It's live and local Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Well, you know, the weather's going to get a little bit better this week. Over the weekend, we had some really blustery winds. I will tell you that. I thought they were having a hurricane type stuff to begin with. Rough seas offshore, 12 to 14 feet way out there. It's going to get better this week as the week wears on. Northeasterly winds today still.
We have a
Northeasterly winds today, still breezy, 15 to 20 knots, gust up to 30, seas 6 to 9 feet, 4 to 5 near shore, dominant period 10 seconds, Sounds and rivers are choppy. Northeasterly winds tomorrow, 10 to 15. 5 to 8 feet, 3 to 5 near shore. Dominant period 11 seconds. Sounds and rivers a moderate chop. And on Wednesday, easterly winds 5 to 10 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet, 2 to 3 near shore. Sounds and rivers a light chop.
And today is sunny with a high near 64, northeast wind 10 to 14 miles per hour. Tonight, partly cloudy with a low around 40. Tuesday, mostly sunny with a high near 66, north wind around 6 miles per hour. Tuesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 49. Wednesday, a 30% chance of showers, mostly cloudy with a high near 69. Wednesday night, a 79% chance of showers and thunderstorms, cloudy with a low around 55. And Thursday, an 80% chance of rain with a high near 62. And then it's supposed to be beautiful for the Easter weekend.
Yay, good. I've got to go fix that bell, whatever that bell's ringing. I thought I had turned it off, but anyway.
Yeah.
Good morning. Who's this?
It's the donkey man.
He haw, he haw, he
ready to go.
he
Wait a
and
minute,
to the
we got
haw.
something for you.
Folks, I got to tell in a while ago, but I've been a little busy. But I'm not a highly educated guy, and I've learned all through my working years that you take highly educated people, and they like to take a problem, complicate the hell out of it, and then try to fix it. And me, I like to do the simple things first. And if you want to solve 98% of the problem at the border, wall it up. Wall it up. Don't fence it up. Wall it up. And as far as your fentanyl machine detection machines go, they bought them and didn't fund enough money to install them.
That
That's
was
just like a
stupid.
person. I mean, that's like a person, and I've seen them do it. Highly educated person would buy a water pump for irrigation, and he has to go out there and prime it every time he has to use it. And I look at him and say, you know what a self-priming pump is?
Whoops.
And they look at you. What do you mean? Well, if you bought a self-priming pump instead of a pump like this, you wouldn't have to walk out here with a gallon of water every time you had to use it and prime the darn thing. So that's what I'm getting at. You can start out the simplest thing and start. And the first thing that we should have done, and Trump tried to do it, Obama wanted to do it, and then they didn't because they had set aside, $40 billion? And Trump said we can do it in $5 billion. So Obama set aside $40 billion, but nobody knows where it is. So Trump wanted to set aside $5 billion, and the whole crowd, Congress start raving mad.
Yeah.
Oh, can't do it. I'm just saying, I'm border that'll cure most of it.
Yeah, you're right.
And I got a great nephew that is on Border Patrol,
Uh-huh.
and I don't get to hear from him much. And I did hear him say that one time. He said, if we wall it up, we wouldn't have that kind of problem.
Yep.
Because he rides 4 months a year 4 months on horseback, and then 4 months on truck patrol, and then he'll go back to horse. And he talks about it, and that is your biggest problem. Wall it up.
Yep.
The metal was already there.
That hasn't been
And
sold
now
for junk.
Yeah, that has not been sold for pennies on the dollar. Some of it's been sold. But that's all I had to spout about.
Okay.
Rayford, be good. If you need me, holler.
You got it. Thank you, Timmy. Appreciate,
Y'all be sweet.
appreciate the backup. I got another caller. Good
This is Joy.
Hey, Joy.
Good morning,
Good
Joy.
morning. How are y'all?
We're here. How are you?
I'm here too.
I need more coffee.
I'll be right there. I need some enlightening on something.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I was not aware of those machines. I don't really try to get too much into the political stuff because it seems like there's really it just doesn't appear to really get anywhere. But anyways, if we've got those machines sitting there and they're saying there's no money to install, how can we take all the trillions of dollars to fly people back and forth from other places to get them here? Why can't they take some of that money and install the stupid machines?
Well, out too, Joy.
I mean, a lot of it, and do you know of anything that's ever been presented to Congress or on the floor, bills or laws that they've not passed without inserting something else, so they won't have that bill passed?
Nope, it's all, there's virtually very few laws, very few bills that doesn't have a bunch of pork barrel crap put in them.
Yep.
Yeah, they especially love to put in shut down the government.
Mhm.
I mean, as soon as they say shut down the government, I mean, you know, I think it's like a ploy of some sort. And another thing I'm sort of confused about, if Trump's, I think according to Stephen, like I said, he's more into the political whatever than I am, but if Trump's working on his running for president and the legal battles that he's being, you know, trying to take care of right now, how can he be there trying to change whatever's going on up in Congress? I mean, I don't even know that his name should even be mentioned with what's going on at the present time with what's going on in Washington. Yeah, he might have friends and things, but I mean, it's like this. I mean, they've been hounding Trump from day one for years. If I was Trump, I'd just done had it a long time ago, but he's not that kind of person. I'm not saying that who's the right person for the job, but there's not really a whole lot we can choose from right now.
Nope.
But it seems like that someone needs to try to figure out how can we spend money here. We've always spent this money, but we don't have money to correct the problem at the border.
Mm-hmm.
But we can bring these people in with $300. It just really just blows my mind.
Yeah, if you figure, you know, a 737, just I don't know what plane they're flying in on, but that's one of the smaller ones. 737, let's just say it's got 150 people on board, passengers.
Right.
I've flown a lot of 737s, and it seems to be about that. And if you've got 150 on board, and it costs me about $1,000 to do a round trip to that neck of the world, just about 50 miles north of Venezuela, that's $150,000 per round trip, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's $150,000. Now, if you consider that they're flying halfway without making any money, because the round trips that I take, they get $150,000 for fly down and $150,000 for flying back. So therefore, that's an equivalent of $300,000 that they would be getting, right? Somebody's got to pay for that.
For those machines, $300,000.
To pay for the fuel, the flight down, empty plane going down, except for crew. Somebody's going to have to pay for that, right?
Correct.
So therefore, it's worth about $300,000. Now, how many trips has he made? A bunch over a year.
No telling how many.
We don't know. We don't know how many we got in this country. 7.2 million, according to stats that we just got out here. I don't know.
Well, just like buying those stupid machines, that's not going to stop those people from bringing in.
No, of course not.
Fentanyl.
That's just going to.
That was a waste of money right there, and maybe that's why they didn't
Well,
install
let me throw a figure out that I was giving some thought to during the weather. Okay. World War II lasted for a little over 3 years. Is that correct? America's involvement, the United States involvement in World War II. How many Americans died during that World War? Do you know? Do you know?
Yeah.
300,000.
I got to say hundreds of thousands.
300,000 Americans lost their lives during World War II. Now, 110,000 Americans lost their lives last year due to fentanyl overdoses. Times 3, that's 330,000. 330 million that would lose their lives based on that number every year.
Strike.
330,000 Americans would lose their lives in 3 years due to fentanyl overdoses.
Exactly.
What's wrong with this picture?
Corruption going on, and I think people are being paid for. You can get some really nice people that can make nice identifications, passports, driver's license.
They do it all the time.
Yes, and they're going to cross that border, and then they're going to come in and they're going to purchase a gun also, like you were talking about before. But then you've got an individual that was young and stupid, maybe let's say 50 years ago, that committed a felon that did not harm anyone, or it was a felon, but it was not like stabbing. But they're not allowed to purchase a gun to protect themselves in these that we live in now, due to the fact of what's going on. But the people crossing the border, they can just come in, and many of them just waltz in and can purchase a gun. And what do they do with those guns? Not all. I'm not saying all people are coming illegally, and I know there's some immigrants are coming, but a lot of them end up usually killing some of Americans.
Yeah, we have things like that. All right, Joy, we're up against the clock here. Thank you.
All
We
right,
do have another
okay.
caller before we go.
All right.
Thank you. Good morning. Who's this?
Deplorables, how are you?
Hello, Mr. Adorable. How are you?
I thought I called you up and I explained the whole situation, and now I got to explain it again.
Go ahead. I'm hard-headed.
There's a bill. It was a bipartisan bill between the immigration, money for the immigration, and money for Ukraine and the other country, Israel and all that. So it passed the Senate. Ask Tom Tillis. I mean, Lee, you know about this stuff. It passed in the Senate. And then he went to the House. Mike Johnson will not bring it to the floor. And Steve told you why. Trump told him not to bring it to the floor because he doesn't want Biden to look good. You can talk about immigration all you want. That bill is sitting in the Senate waiting to be brought to the floor of the House of Representatives. And they're not bringing it to the floor.
What bill is that,
What else do you
dear?
want? What else do you want?
Lee has a question for you.
What bill are you talking about?
The bill that there was bipartisan to fund the immigration for more patrol and more this and that, and also to fund Ukraine. I mean, you don't even know about the bill. Yeah, you come and talk about.
There's been a lot of
Biden.
changes on it, and I've down and read it. I would have to read it to
Call
know.
Tom Tillis, let him come on there.
He'll be on
And then
soon.
you can find out that the bill has passed. Mike Johnson will not bring it to the floor. If he brought it to the floor, he will pass. But he won't even bring it to the floor. And Steve told you, Donald Trump told him, don't bring it to the floor because I don't want it passing.
I thought that
don't
bill
want
flopped.
Biden to look good. I mean, we've gone through this how many times already?
Did that bill
Okay,
not?
now-
Did that bill not fail?
Lee, I hope you pick a better GOP leader than you did last time. Because this guy that you picked, a mega Republican,
Michael Watley? Do you know him?
Trumplican, you know, he's over there. And I asked you a couple of weeks ago, why is Laura Trump in there? And now you know why. Because they're going to direct the money that they get from the people so they can pay Trump's bills.
No,
and
that's
why
not
she's
how
in
it
there. That was
works.
the real reason.
They can't do
she's
that.
gonna run
That's
because she
illegal.
likes
It's
politics
illegal.
and all that bull. But
Theo.
anyway, she's in there with that guy came from North Carolina that you guys picked, okay? And he's going to direct the funds to Trump's legal fees, okay?
Can't do that.
Let's clear that up.
Theo, that's illegal. They can't do that.
Cannot
Okay,
do it.
we'll
You
see.
cannot use campaign funds to pay personal
we'll see.
debts.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see. But listen, one more thing. 14 years Obamacare, baby. 45 million people in this country have health insurance. If those 45 million go and vote for the Democrats who gave them that, we got it made. All right? Over 600,000 people in North Carolina got Medicaid. Okay? Medicaid for health insurance, and over 20,000 were veterans. Democrats are doing this stuff. Democrats. McCrory didn't want that in there. Okay? Democrats. 600,000 should be voting for Democrats. That's how you win votes. By doing things people want.
By
Okay?
giving
Thank
away,
you.
by giving stuff away to them. Gotcha.
Oh, giving them away, huh? Health care for 600,000. That's why you're going to lose, and that's why you end it.
They
Because
don't-
you don't care about the people.
They don't give me health care.
Why? What do you need it for?
Health?
These are low income and people are down on their luck that need that.
Ah.
Okay? It's preventive maintenance. When you take care of their health while they're young and going out through their life, they're not going to get into medical trouble later on. Okay? 600,000, baby. All right. Did I straighten anything out with you people?
Or people who chose
No.
not to work, who chose to sit
you
home
keep
on
talking about
welfare.
immigration, but why don't you call Mike? Or no, why don't you call Murphy and tell him why he hasn't They haven't brought that bill to the floor so he can vote on it. Ask Murphy.
I think he's already voted
Why
against.
Everybody wants to say the bill. Who of all our callers that have called have actually read word for word in that bill? Not me.
We're not going to go and read. We're not lawyers. We're not going to read those bills. We're just getting the hint of what's in those bills. It's immigration and to fund the three countries that we fund because they're in trouble. Okay?
And you're
It's simple
listening
as
to what
that.
the news media tells you.
It's you're going to sit down and read the whole thing, 1,000 pages? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Well,
you got time on your hands.
We'll read it every day to you. Every day, 2 hours we'll spend reading parts of that bill. How's
We
that?
could do that, yeah.
Stop blaming Biden for the immigration. Get that bill through the House, okay?
7.2 million illegals have come into this country during Biden's term so far.
It's part of the 2023 bill that he passed.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank
Hi,
you.
Theo.
I know we got another caller, but hang in there. Don't go away. We'll be right back. You're live and local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
WSME.
If you plan to rebuild, remodel, repair, or do cottage or home improvements, Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City, should be your first stop. Williams Hardware carries power tools and equipment, chains and fasteners, plumbing and electrical supplies, along with Gerber, Buck, and Case knives. Williams Hardware is your helpful, handy hardware store. Williams Hardware cuts glass to size and cuts and threads pipe. When the chores are done and the cleanup is finished, light up that Wilmington grill from Williams Hardware. Williams Hardware, 3011B Bridges Street, Morris City. Open Monday through Saturday from 7:30 till 6 p.m. and Sundays for your convenience, noon till 5. Phone Williams Hardware, 252-726-7158.
Looking for a job? Full-time? Part-time? Il Cigno Italiano Restaurant wants you. We're currently hiring for hostesses, servers, bartenders, and dishwashers. Il Cigno Italiano is a family-owned, fast-paced restaurant that offers the best in fine dining on the Crystal Coast. If you're hardworking, reliable, professional, and have a desire to always strive for better, we want to talk to you. Make great money and be a part of an outstanding, dedicated team. Il Cigno Italiano on West Corbett Avenue in Swansboro.
Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry, where we love to make you smile. Now proud to be working with Doctors Kim and Tommy Morgan, formerly Morgan Family Dentistry. The Jacksonville and Richlands Morgan offices of Lane & Associates Family Dentistry blends the latest technology with personal care and attention, so you have an amazing dental experience. The offices of Lane & Associates welcome all ages and accepts all major insurances, including military. Lane & Associates Family Dentistry has been serving the of North Carolina for over 40 years, with 2 locations in Jacksonville, Richlands, and Maysville. Call for an appointment today at 877-LANE-DDS or online at lanedds.com. Welcome to Lane & Associates Family Dentistry. Hello, shoppers. Take advantage of these specials and many, many more at your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, down home, down the street where good things cost less. Main Street in downtown Maysville. Whole fresh picnic, just $1.29 a pound. Bone-in New York strip steak, $8.99 a pound. Half-cut bone strip loin, $7.99 a pound. Half-cut boneless strip loin, $7.99 a pound. Family pack cube beef steak, just $5.79 a pound. Pork spare ribs, $1.99 a pound. Whole bottom round, $3.99 a pound. Chicken thighs or drumsticks, $1.19 a pound. White, red, or black seedless grapes, $2.99 a pound. 1 pound package fresh strawberries, only $2.99. Green snap beans, $1.99 a pound. A 5 pound bag of russet potatoes, $2.99. Large California navel oranges, only 99 cents each. And 2 2-liter size Coca Sprite for $5. That's your locally owned and operated Piggly Wiggly store, down home, down the street, where good things cost less. Main Street, Maysville. Remember, save big with the pig.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1, 1120 AM, WSME.
All I'm trying to do is figure out if there's anybody I have not offended yet. Good morning. Who's this?
This is Bridget. And you have not offended me.
I'm like, help.
Good morning and good luck. I don't know how y'all do it, but I just got one thing to say. If these immigrants are coming across in a plane, and they are supposed to be coming. When I go out of the country, or my grandson, or anybody, as you do, you have to show the right paperwork.
Yep.
To get on a plane or to get off, right?
Yep.
And I'm okay with if they're coming legally. I'm okay with that. But the way the things are at the wall, I think they should publicly have to show their paperwork to show proof that they are legal.
You know, what I'd like to see is every one of these that so far has come across, or the next plane load that comes across, to get off that airplane through the scrutiny in this country to see if they should ever have been allowed in this country in the first place, as we have to do when we go into another country. When I go to another country,
the problem is with that.
when I land in another country, even as often as I've been to this other country, I have to show them stuff, and they will look through their customs and immigration people. They will look through, and they know records, because their computers are also connected to our computers in this country, and they know who is on a no-fly list or who should not be allowed into their country. They know that. And do you think that I could get in there if I was on that no-fly list?
I turned this on this morning, and I'm going, oh my God. I started listening when Steve got on. And then, of course, Theo. I just admire you guys. I don't know how you do it, because
I'm going to the V-Bar after the show. I don't know about y'all.
I just, good luck. Okay.
All right, Bridget. Thank you.
Thanks, Bridget.
Happy Monday.
Yes,
Thank you.
You got it. Take care.
All right.
We got to take a break.
Okay.
You're live and local, Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. Lee's up when we get back.
WSME.
Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro reminds you to check your mailbox and find your quote on homeowners insurance. Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro goes the extra mile to make sure you're in good hands, like helping you customize your home and windstorm coverage with their Write Your Own home policy. Yes, save even more when you bundle your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, and even your golf cart. Remember, if it rolls or floats, call Tammy for a quote. You and everything you own are in good hands with Tammy Fry Allstate Swansboro. Call today, 910-326-5383. Tammy Fry Allstate, 638 Corbett Avenue in the friendly city by the sea, Swansboro. Check your mailbox on your homeowner's insurance.
The best deal for the grill is at Jones LP Gas and Oil Company each Friday. Every Friday from 8 a.m. till closing at 5, Jones LP Gas and Oil Company will fill your 20-pound LP gas grill cylinder for only $11. You heard that right. Each Friday till closing, you can have your 20-pound LP gas cylinder filled for only $11 at Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 Wilmington Highway in heart of Verona. In addition to saving money on your LP gas for the grill, Jones Gas and Oil is your full-service gas and oil company serving residential, commercial, and agricultural gas and oil needs, as well as gas appliances, LP replacement, parts, fill cylinders, and tankless water heaters, and they offer a 10% military discount on installation. Remember to get that cylinder filled every Friday until closing for only $11. Jones Gas and Oil Company, 3881 the Old Wilmington Highway, Verona. Phone 910-346-6384. When you need comforting, who do you call? An old friend, right? Jacksonville Heating Contractors services the heating and cooling needs of our area with dependable quality train systems, guaranteeing indoor comfort for your home or business. In addition to quality train systems, Jacksonville Heating Contractors offers 24-hour emergency service, NATE certified technicians, and over 50 years of experience and service you can trust. And with a Jacksonville Heating Contractor service agreement, you never pay retail for heating or cooling services and receive priority scheduling. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And in New Bern, you can call Trent Heating and Air Conditioning 252-633-2200. In Morehead City, Sea Air Heating and Cooling 252-247-1122. If you need service or repairs, just call an old friend. Jacksonville Heating Contractors, an independent train dealer. It's hard to stop a train. For deals on train systems and more, visit oldfriend.com or call 910-347-2843.
It's live and local. Real Talk on Freedom 97.1 WSME.
Okay, we're back. And Lee's
want a
got something.
BLT.
BLT.
Yes, I'm hungry.
Oh.
All this arguing makes me hungry. Oh, okay. Just going back to the scanners, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In October 2023, the committee chairman for the House Homeland Security, which is Mark Green, and Senator John Cornyn, he's from Texas, Mark Green's from Tennessee, they requested in a letter that the Government Accountability Office conduct a top to bottom review of how the CBP, which is the Border Patrol, has used the $1.9 billion it has already received to enhance border screening since 2018. It said right now, up to this date, they're scanning less than 2% of the vehicles coming through. So there's a big review being conducted on it right now. So that's why.
So we got all these extra machines there that we're not using because they're not installed, right?
Right.
So
but
right
the
now,
ones-
but they've been spending $1.9 billion.
since 2018. Now the ones we do have installed, they are scanning less than 2% of the vehicles going through.
Well, that's
They'd
why
like
they
to
needed
see
the
it
others, right?
At least a 40% rate of scanning. That's what I see. They said, why should we, put 200 million or 300 million more into putting this equipment in the ground if they're not using them to scan? So right now, the big thing is they're doing a big review top to bottom on how the money's been spent and if they're using these machines like they should. So I wish I can understand that.
How many? There are hundreds sitting there idly, doing
Yes.
nothing, right?
Yes.
How many do we have in operation?
It does not say according to this, but that's the biggest thing. It's just a matter
Of
of
that 2% that we scan, how much dope did we get?
couldn't have been a lot if there was only 2%.
Well, that's 2% of the vehicles, but
Right.
guess how much dope that they're getting?
Right.
Tractor trailer loads, equivalent of tractor trailer loads, not all at one time,
Right.
well, not off of one vehicle, but we're getting hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds of fentanyl.
This is a big problem.
If
It's
we're
like-
getting that much fentanyl and we got that much more getting through and killing 110,000 Americans in 1 year, we have a problem.
we need to write all that down. We'll ask Senator Tillerson, Congressman Murphy when they call, because it's hard to read a story and put a lot of it's their fault. It's their it depends on what news channel you're reading or what, it's just everything is so divided these days.
I don't care whose fault it is. Okay,
Right.
if you've got somebody in the administration, whether it's hired or elected, then fire them. If it's their fault, I don't care what side of the fence they're on. I just don't care. But find out if we're wasting money that could be used for other purposes, that should be used for other purposes.
Right.
There's a problem.
Well, that's why they want to have this review of the money. I mean, 1.9 billion already.
Yeah.
And they're not getting their money's worth from what I'm reading. So, it's not like they're saying, no, we're not giving
What
you
is that
anything.
1.9 billion earmarked for?
It was for those scanners.
Well, they've already
Border
got
security.
We've got scanners in place. Now, what about the scanners that are not in place? Was that 1.9 billion earmarked for those?
I have no clue. I
Okay,
can't
see,
tell you
that's
for
the
sure.
confusing part.
Yes. I don't know if these are new scanners that need to be installed or
Yeah,
if they
there-
were
there are
or if they were part of the original 1.9 billion.
I don't know.
I don't know either. We'll have to
That's
delve
not-
further into it and find
Yep.
out.
We'll figure it out.
On a nicer note, let's get away from politics.
No.
Oh yeah, just for a minute.
Okay. Yeah,
The
10 seconds.
upcoming
8,
season.
7.
What? The upcoming H season that starts June 1st. All right. They've got the new list of names out. You want to hear them?
My name's not on there.
Might be Alberto.
Nope.
Beryl, Chris, Debbie, Ernesto, Francine, Gordon, Helene, Isaac, Joyce, Kirk, Leslie, Milton, Nadine, Oscar, Patty, Raphael, Sarah, Tony, Valeria, and William.
What happened to what name starts with Z?
Z? Well, we hope we don't have to go that far.
We've been there before.
Zach.
Zach, there you
W.
go. Zachariah.
X.
How about Y?
Y. Well, we're hoping-
Yamamoto. There we go. Yamamoto.
Z, zebra. Hopefully we won't have to go that far.
Yeah, I hope not.
But kind of a boring list of names this year, which is good.
Well, I mean,
guess.
we can look at it this way now. We got a problem. The third letter.
Third letter.
We got Chris Miller.
I know.
We got
Chris
Rayner.
Rayner.
We got Chris Hollywood. Wow.
We have Chris Marks.
Oh, wow.
I thought of all of those when I said Chris.
My.
I know Chris Miller's listening.
I'm going to leave
You
town.
better be just a little whisper of a wind.
I'm
That's all
going to
thinking.
leave town if we get to the C word.
Well, I got concerned when I saw Raphael because when I first read it, I thought, Rayford, oh,
No,
I'm
no.
packing up and heading for the mountains.
No. All right, coming up tomorrow, we've got a young man going to be speaking of politics again.
Yes. We've got Ike Johnson coming in.
Yay.
Ike has written a book. It's about leadership
Uh-huh.
and about delegating, and it's about mentoring.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great book. I read 99% of it. I just have to finish the last couple of pages. It's a very good story. You know, he grew up on a farm in Mississippi, and he had 9 other siblings.
Oh, my.
And his parents raised them all to be true leaders and to work hard. And he's going to come in and tell us about his story. Then he also wants to speak towards mentoring also. So it's a good book. It's a great story. I can't wait for him to come in and sit down and tell us about it. And then at 8:00, we have Miss Lorette Ligon from the Chamber of Commerce, who's going to come in and tell us about a lot of upcoming events.
Okay, sounds like a good thing.
It's going to be a good week.
And that includes the Christmas parade, right?
I don't know. She's ready to go there.
I'm sure she is. I'm sure they get that plan since last year. Have a good rest of your day. Coming up next is Fox News. And after that, 10 o'clock this morning, another dose of the Daily D's with Rick Dees will be in the house at 3 o'clock this afternoon. He's going to say, hey, Chris, Hollywood, it's yourn. Take over.
It's
It's
yourn.
yourn. Take over. Meanwhile, we'll see you in the morning, 22 hours from now. You're live and local Real Talk Freedom 97.1, 1120 a.m. WSME. The mayhem continues tomorrow. Have a great day.
WSME, Camp Lejeune, W246CJ, Jacksonville.